Welcome to the Weekend Watch. Joaquin Jaime alongside Paul LaDuca. And Paulie and I once again have put together a list of the 5 things that we are looking forward to this weekend at Santa Anita. And Paulie, as we go ahead and jump into the list, we'll go ahead and start with number 5. And it's a competitive race down the hill, an optional claiming 80,000 event down the hill, 6.5 furlongs at Santa Anita. And it will feature the 3-year debut of the 7 Pussycat Lips, who last time we saw this filly was making her U.S. debut in the Mies Stakes.
And it was a good effort here. You got to understand that Travesura was on the front end in here and went 49-1, 113-2. The only horse that made up any ground was Pussycat Lips. In between horses, watch this horse explode late. Now is going to try going down the hill. My only concern would be, Joaquin, is the early speed, but she showed some quality there, and I think she's going to be really tough to handle. She's 5-2 on the morning line. You probably get a little less than that.
I agree with you. I think you'll get a little less, maybe 2-1, 9-5, somewhere in that range. Also have to mention the 2, Mint's Connection, making the turf debut for Ron Ellis, and the 5 out of the down the hill specialist mare, Cambio Corsa, who was an 8-time winner down the hill. That one trained by Richard Mandel. It seems everything from the Mandel barn firing this meet. As we move on to number 4 on the list, it is the $75,000 Megahertz Stakes, named after the multiple Grade 1 winning filly for Bobby Frankel and Michael Bello. And we have in the stars the 3, who is 3-1 morning line, coming off a win last time at Betfair Hollywood Park.
Yeah, 9 times over the turf course, and this 5-year-old mare by Romarin has never missed a board. 3 wins, 3 seconds, and 3 thirds. She was game last time when winning in a little optional, a little optional claimer. She ran down Kun Kun, who was on the lead that day, got an ideal trip and got the job done. And Corey Nakatani, a horse that is definitely moving forward. And a Jealous Woman, the 6, for Francis Meza, a horse that ran really good in the Golakova at 3-1. Almost took him gate to wire, literally, and just gets run down here late. Is probably going to be your second choice.
When I look at the past performances for the 6 at Jealous Woman, look at her last 3 wins. Wire to wire on August 19th, wire to wire on July 29th, and wire to wire on February 5th. I'm not so sure she's going to get that easy to lead, especially with the 4 Lady of 10 in there.
She does like Santa Anita, though. 8 starts, 4 wins, 2 seconds, and 2 thirds. So a horse for course.
Absolutely. She is 5-2 morning line favorite. Speaking of the 6, a Jealous Woman. That is number 4 on the list. As we move on to number 3, it will take us to the Sunday card. It is the Grade 2 La Cañada, $150,000 event for 4-year-old fillies going 1 mile and a 16th on the main track. And Paulie, it looks like the 2 favorites are going to dominate the wagering in here.
Well, Lady of 50 was absolutely dominant in the Bayacoa. She overcame trouble. Martin Garcia wheeled her out, and she is in great form right now. She's had a couple races over the conventional dirt. She's 2 for 3. She is strictly the one to beat, and she's in sharp form for Jerry Hollendorfer. Book Review won the La Brea from way off the pace from the Bob Baffert barn. He's going to reel this 4-year-old filly by Giants Causeway right back, and this horse has some decent races around 2 turns in New York.
It looks to me, Book Review, 7-5 morning line, second choice. She got an absolutely perfect setup in here, Paulie. You had Renee's Got Zip and My Miss Aurelia dueling on the front end. She got 22-2, 44 seconds for the half to run into, ended up running them down late as they got a little tired. Out of the 2 favorites, I had to pick one that I was going to go to. I would give the nod to Lady of 50.
Yeah, I think Lady of 50 is going to be really tough, and right now she might be on her way to being one of the better fillies and mares in that division.
That's number 3 on the list. Moving on to number 2 takes us back to the Saturday card at Santa Anita. It is the Grade 2 Palos Verdes, $150,000 Grade 2 event going 6 furlongs for 4-year-olds and up.
Well, this is a loaded field. We're taking a look at Kama at the top here. His win last time in the Daytona. This was an off-the-turf event, and he is ultra game. 11 for 25 lifetime. He does have a win over the conventional dirt. He's going to be one of the horses to catch. Another horse in here, Private Zone, has shown that he has a tendency to run second, but he's just as fast, and this could set up for a speed duel. You also have Drill in this field, A Priority making a comeback, and Canonize for Ron Ellis, who's been on record saying that Canonize is a better horse over the conventional dirt.
I think Canonize is a bit interesting in here. We haven't seen him since April 28th. Yeah. Cutting back in distance, he can run well off a layoff. Ron Ellis has been training this one over at Betfair Hollywood Park. Moving on to number 1, as we wrap up the Weekend Watch, it features the return of Breeders' Cup, a juvenile fillies winner, Beholder, who will be making her 3-year debut in the Grade 2 Santa Ynez, cutting back to a sprint, 6 furlongs, Paulie, or 6.5 furlongs, excuse me, for the first time since 2 starts back for her.
Yeah, she only ran, what, a 111 Beyer the last time. Right? She sprinted before she went on to win the Breeders' Cup, and this is her race when she ran that 111 Beyer. She's probably better going around 1 turn. Richard Mandel is going to start her there, and I would think she's going to be really tough to handle in here. They did draw a field 8. We thought it might be a smallish field, but 7 other rivals against her.
Yeah, reading the stories leading into this race, I was expecting a field of 5, maybe a field of 6. A field of 8 did draw for the Santa Ynez, and we might even be saying 2-year-old champion beholder because the Eclipse Awards are tonight. So we'll see as that comes race day on Monday. Let's take a recap. I would think so too. If I had a vote, I would give it to Beholder. Let's take a recap look for the 5 things for the Weekend Watch. The Mies Stakes with the return of Pussycat Lips going down the hill. The Megahertz Stakes, $75,000 stakes event going a mile on the grass. The La Cañada Stakes for 4-year-old fillies, $150,000 grade 2 event. Palace of Vendors for sprinters. And number 1, the most attractive thing that Paula Duke and I are looking forward to this holiday weekend is the return of Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies winner, Beholder. That's going to wrap up the Weekend Watch for Paula Duca. I'm Joaquin Jaime. Enjoy the holiday racing weekend at Santa Anita.